If you own a mobile phone, you must see this. After a life of physical toil on the land, this rough and tumble farmer blames modern technology for killing him. His mobile phone.
Mate, there's no doubt about mine. I know what killed me.
John, you're saying what killed you as if you're already dead.
Yeah, well, I am dead, aren't I? I'm a dead man walking, really, aren't I?
Last November, John was working in his shearing shed when he lost control of the left side of his body. Doctors found a malignant tumour just behind his right ear.
I told Dr. Hughes, he's a very good doctor, I said, I don't want any crap, tell me the truth, you know. He said, I'll tell you the truth. This is the truth. He said, with this disease, there are no survivors, everyone dies. So that was a good introduction to Tumour Hospital.
John's mobile phone has been an essential tool of the trade for the past 25 years. And he's in no doubt those countless hours with it glued to his ear gave him the brain tumour. I can't begin to imagine what you're going through.
No, no one can begin to imagine, because people come up to me just, you know, they're trying to be nice and they say, I can imagine how you feel. And I think, no, you can't imagine how I feel, you know. And I reckon it's caused definitely by those bloody mobile phones.
Dr. Teo, John insists his brain tumour has been caused by his mobile phone. Do you agree with his diagnosis?
Insist is a strong word. And there are always two sides to every story. But if the question is, do I believe that mobile phones can cause brain cancer, the answer is yes, I do.
Exactly. The fact that you've deteriorated so much in the last 3 days means that you probably won't survive more than about 3 more weeks with this. Yeah. It's that bad.
Yeah, I know it's bad.
Dr. Charlie Teo is John's neurosurgeon, his last hope to beat the tumour. He's also the co-author of a frightening new study that's predicting a dramatic increase in brain tumours caused by the long-term use of mobile phones.
That's a huge fear. I mean, what if we're right? Then if we're right, we're going to see a huge increase in brain tumours and brain cancer in the next decade or so. It's going to be frightening. And guess what, Lam? We're already frightened by what we're seeing.
Most of us are pretty wary of these things, and with good reason. Microwave ovens use electromagnetic radiation to cook your food. Now, it's exactly the same energy on exactly the same wavelength as the stuff that's being pumped out of your mobile phone. Admittedly, microwaves are a lot more powerful, but you wouldn't consider for a moment holding your ear up to one of these for hours at a time, day after day. Yet that's precisely what most of us are doing with our mobiles.
Long-term use of mobile phones is associated with a doubling of the risk of being diagnosed with certain brain tumours.
You're saying that if you use a mobile phone over an extended period,
right, over 10 years,
you double your risk of developing a brain tumour.
That's what the data that we've analysed, that's what it shows. Vinnie Corona, hello.
Canberra neurosurgeon Dr. Vinnie Corona worked with Charlie Teo and 3 other leading scientists to produce this latest report. And he believes mobile phones could be the biggest public health issue since tobacco. Were you surprised at the size of the result?
I actually think it may be a conservative estimate.
You think doubling the risk is conservative?
Yes. I would be very happy to be wrong about this, because the public health implications of being right about this are enormous. At the moment, there are just over 4 billion users of mobile phones. There are people as young as 3 using them.
Happy birthday!
And that's where the biggest threat lies, with our kids. Today, being presented with your first mobile is an essential passport to life. Our kids inhabit a wireless world, and it's nothing for them to spend hours each day chatting on the phone.
On the average, I use it about 4 hours a day. I normally have long conversations at night with people. I don't know, I use my phone a lot.
This is the way we've been brought up to communicate with our mobile phones, and it's just the easiest because they're portable, we can take them anywhere. So it's just the easiest way to communicate with our friends.
I have been incredibly worried, concerned, depressed at the number of kids that I'm seeing that are coming in with brain tumours, malignant brain tumours. Just in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've seen probably half a dozen kids with tumours that really should have been benign, and they've all been nasty, malignant brain tumours. We are doing something terribly wrong.
With the warning signs already there for the mobile generation, long-term users, like John Bryant, may be just the first wave in a looming disaster. So, as long as you can remember your dad had a mobile phone.
Absolutely. I think he was one of the first. My friends thought it was pretty cool, actually, because no one had them.
With time running out, John is setting out for Sydney for emergency surgery. He hopes Dr. Teo can buy him precious extra months with his family by removing his tumour.
Make a little opening in the brain right here.
It's a 3-hour operation requiring pinpoint accuracy and very steady hands. So if you go 1 or 2 millimetres the wrong way, he'll be paralysed.
Oh, absolutely. See that brain right there? If I damage that brain right there, he'd be paralysed. It's like chopping off his leg, or chopping off his arm. Oh, that's horrible.
Is that all tumour, Charlie?
Yeah.
It's not pretty, but take a good look. In the future, hundreds, possibly thousands of Australian mobile users could contract brain tumours every year.
And until we get our heads out of the sand and realise that something needs to be done, then more and more young people are going to die from this terrible disease.
Well, we're seeing more and more mobiles in use, aren't we? So if you're right, we're in a bit of trouble.
We're in a lot of trouble. In a lot of trouble.
I think this is what has killed me, or will kill me.
Do you honestly believe mobile phones gave you that tumour?
Without doubt. 100%.
Brett used to run a successful earth-moving business in Western Sydney. And just like John Bryant, his mobile was in constant use. So would it be safe to say 3 hours a day?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, the next scan's going to be 2.5 minutes. Just keep trying to hold very still.
2 operations haven't been able to get rid of the tumour, but right now it's stable. Sadly, Brett knows it's only a matter of time before it starts spreading through his brain. How long do you think you've got?
I think maybe 6, 7 years at my very, very best.
That's some options there. Okay, look good. Look good.
Once, brain tumours were a relatively rare cancer, but not anymore. And Charlie Teo's biggest worry is that their dramatic increase has coincided with a boom in mobile ownership.
There is now a true exponential rise in the incidence of brain cancer. And so we have got to be responsible about all the potential causes of that and at least make the public aware of those potential causes.
But that's my whole point. If you and your colleagues are right, there's going to be literally thousands of people who will be affected at some point down the track.
Yes, absolutely. Now again, not everyone who's used mobile phones, because again, not everyone who smokes gets lung cancer. But we believe that a lot of people are going to be affected.